Hello, welcome to another video. I so rarely wear my glasses these days and I really need to get back into the habit of wearing them. So I'm sorry if there's like glare from the windows and such, but I can see better with them, funnily enough. Funny how that works. Anyway, as you can tell from the thumbnail and title, today I am showing you 12 books that will self-destruct in 12 months if I don't read them. This video is completely pinched from Becca from Becca in the Books. She's done this a couple of times now. She did it last year and then reacted to it and then's redone it this year. So I will link her video down in the description because that is where the idea came from entirely. It's stolen. But yeah, I have a lot of books on my shelf that I've had on there for a long time and have not read, or I'm not massively interested in, but I'm not quite ready to unhaul yet. So I thought this was a fantastic idea to kind of put a time limit on, come on, if you haven't read them in a year, you're probably not going to, so unhaul them. So that's what we're doing here. I've got 12 books that will self-destruct in 12 months if I don't read them. So without further rambling, let's just crack on with what they are, shall we? First up, we have Satellite by Nick Lake. This was entirely a cover purchase, what are we talking, probably like 3 years ago now, because it's gorgeous and those moons are really reflective and it's pretty. I like sci-fi, I like reading sci-fi. This is about a 14-year-old boy, I believe, who was born on a space station or a spaceship and has never actually been to Earth. He's 15 years old and has never been to Earth. He was born on the space station, has been raised on the space station and has never come to Earth. And this is his story of coming to Earth for the first time. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm interested in that anymore. I think I was at the time, and especially because it's beautiful and spacey, but then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, it's not going to be spacey, is it? Because it's him coming back to Earth. And it's probably going to be quite, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be kind of high school-y. Like, he's 15, he's coming to Earth, he's probably going to go to school and make friends and stuff. I don't know. If you've read this and know what it's like, let me know, because I don't. But the time's come for them to make their first flight home to Earth. Let me know if you've read it, if you think I would like it, or if it's anything like what I'm kind of expecting from it. But yeah, I've had it on my shelf for a really long time. It's beautiful, but I haven't read it yet. Will I ever? Next up is All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. I have been debating unhauling this for so long because lots of people don't like it. And lots of people say it's not really got a story, it isn't worth reading. It's, yeah, beautiful, fluffy writing, but there's no substance to it. And like, do I want to waste my time on that? It's not massively long, so it would be an easy read, probably. And I love Maggie Stiefvater's writing. I love The Raven Cycle and Call Down the Hawk. I love that. But I also love the characters associated with that. And this is obviously not related. So would I like it? I don't know. Fluffy, beautiful writing that I love from Maggie? Perhaps. Having no substance? I don't know. So, we'll see if I ever get to this one as well. Honestly, I don't know what this is about, to be honest. Miracles, I think. Family that can grant miracles? Oh yeah, the Sara family have the ability to perform unusual miracles. I don't know. Next up is The Stormcrow by Kaylin Josephson. This is an ARC copy that came in the Fairy Loot box, but it went on sale July 2019. So if this is an ARC copy, how long has it been sat on my shelf? I don't know what this is about. I put this in a TBR not that long ago, but it wasn't a TBR pursuit, so I wasn't forced to read it. But yeah, I put it in a TBR and was fully planning on reading it and then didn't. And I think that's why I'm now putting it in this. Like, I've put it on a TBR and I didn't read it. So when will I? And I'm not massively fussed about it either. Like, nothing about this is really calling me, which is bizarre because it's got a bird on the cover. And normally if there's a bird on the cover, I'm totally there for it. But yeah, nothing about this is really calling to me. And I think there's like birds that are magic. Elemental crows. Yeah, elemental birds. Which kind of sounds cool. But I'm still not really fussed. So we'll throw it on this list and see if I read it. in a year. Next up is Wicked Fox by Cat Chow, or I think this has another name as well, which is like Gumiho? I don't know. This came in a fairy loot box and I was not overwhelmed by it. I was not excited by it, and I'm still not excited by it. And I don't think I've seen anyone love this. I've seen people read it, but I don't recall ever seeing anyone really excited by it, and I'm not excited by it. It's not something that is pulling me towards it at all. This is about a young girl who is she is a gumiho, a nine-tailed fox that survives by consuming the energy of men. Yeah, and I think she has like a bead or something that enables her to make this transformation into her fox self to consume souls, and she loses it or something. But honestly, nothing about this is calling me. Yeah, I'll hold on to it on the off chance that maybe it will, and maybe someone will say, it's great, you should read it. But yeah, I haven't seen anything great or anything terrible, just I haven't seen many opinions on this one. So that's why it's on this list. Next up, we have Everless by Sara Holland. The concept of this sounds really interesting to me, and it's that you exchange time for things. Like, you pay for things in time, your time. Blood is money, time is power. Like, you exchange your life, time off your life for goods, I suppose. Ever since the age of alchemy and sorcery, hours, days and years have been extracted from blood and bound to iron coins. The rich live for centuries, the poor bleed themselves dry. Money is time, I suppose. The concept of that sounds really interesting. But again, I haven't heard anything positive about this, or anything necessarily negative about it, and it's been on my shelf for a really long time, and I'm not really gravitating towards it. Like, I have no intense desire to pick it up, but the concept sounds interesting. So I think this is the perfect place to put this book. If I haven't read it in a year, I probably never will. So here we go. Next up is Munchausen by PC Cast, and I would be completely lying if I told you that the reason I'm holding on to this isn't because of the beautiful cover, because it entirely is. The only reason this is still on my shelf is because it is gorgeous. That's it. That's the only reason. I don't even know what this book is about. It's got those horrible deckled edges as well. Like, I hate deckled edges. Reading books with deckled edges is just difficult. Why? Why is it a thing? I mean, I suppose it looks kind of cool, but it just makes life hard. But it's beautiful! But am I ever going to read it? I don't even know what it's about. Main character is an Earthwalker, heir to the unique healing powers of her clan, and there is evil that she has to overcome, and she has to team up with the son of the rival tribe. So probably going to be quite generic enemies to lovers overcoming a common evil sort of thing. But the cover's beautiful. Also, it's part of a series, and like, if this one is this big, like, do I want to dedicate myself to a series that large? Probably not. But it's gorgeous, so I'm gonna have to bite the bullet, I think. If in a year I still have not read this, because I think this is the oldest book on this list, then it's gonna have to go. Next up is To Best the Boys by Mary Webber. This, again, came in a fairy loot box, and is one that I have not been drawn to at all, and again haven't heard anyone really say anything about it. From what I can recall, in this world, like, all of the boys get invited to this like competition type thing to compete for a really prestigious scholarship, but the girls are just ruled out completely, and one girl decides to disguise herself as a boy to compete for this scholarship or something. Doesn't sound that interesting to me, but like, could be deceiving because it came in a fairy loot and like doesn't sound very magical to me, but it came from a fairy loot, so surely it must be slightly magical at least. If you know anything about this one, I would be intrigued to know a little bit more to see if it's something I would like to actually read. But yeah, if I haven't read it in a year, I probably never will. Next up is The Surface Breaks by Louise O'Neill. This is a Little Mermaid retelling that was quite hyped at the time of its release. I bought it and thought it was pretty and had all intention to read it and still haven't. And it's been a while. When did this come out? 2018, and it's still just sitting on my shelf unread. It's not massive, it's quite a small little book, and I like The Little Mermaid. Why haven't I read this? I don't know. I haven't heard anything necessarily great about it though, so maybe that's why. Like, there was hype at its release and then just kind of fell off the radar, and although it's been on my shelf, it's also fallen off my radar, so we'll see if I ever read this one. Next up we have The Hazel Wood by Melissa Albert. This I got around its release, which was 2018 again, and have not read. It got some hype. A lot of people said it was really weird and just bizarre, which sounds like the sort of thing I would enjoy, but I haven't picked it up. I don't know why, because weird and sort of like bizarre is normally my thing. I think this is about a young girl whose grandmother wrote a really famous like book of fairy tales or something, but her mum warns her to stay away, and then her mum goes missing, so she ventures to find her grandmother's estate, which is the Hazel Wood, and which is where it all goes a bit bonkers, I think. Is that right? I don't know. But that premise sounds interesting to me, like finding somewhere that's a little bit whack. Thoroughly creepily captivating. I don't know why I haven't read it. I think I would enjoy it, but I don't know. Let me know. If you've read it, do you think I would enjoy it? I don't know. Tell me. Next up, we have The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I have only read one book by Renee Ahdieh before, and I didn't like it. This one has vampires, which are not my thing. So put that together, and I'm inclined to believe I would never read this. But it's a relatively recent addition to the shelf, so I think giving it a 12-month period to see if I warm to it or stay off it is, I think, a good idea. It came from a fairy loot. When was it? Like, it was relatively recently. It wasn't that long ago. I can't remember when it was, and I haven't got the card in there. But yeah, as it's a relatively recent edition, I don't want to just straight up unhaul it, but we'll see if in the next 12 months I read it. Next up, we have The Waking Land by Kelly Bates. This is about a young girl whose father is the king, and she is somewhat powerful, but is the king really her father? Have I got that right at all? Yes, I have got that right. It's been 14 years since the king took Alana hostage, 14 years since her father's rebellion failed, 14 years being spent raised by the man who condemned her people to misery, but the man she's come to love as a father. So the king isn't her father, but she's come to love him as a father, but she is now a princess to a king who is ruining the people. I seem to think she had some sort of power. Yes. So the main character is going to be taken prisoner again by her actual father, and they're going to weave some sort of lie about her being a legendary sorceress, but what the secret thing is that she actually is kind of magical. So, sounds like it could be quite tropey and, you know, like Lost Princess needs to reclaim her people, secretly magic. You know, like we've seen that 1,000 times before. But something about this has intrigued me for it to have been on my shelf for such a long time, and for me to, you know, purchase the hardcover copy of this. But I think I did purchase it a really long time ago. But yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued by this. I've become quite attached to having it on my shelf because it's been there for such a long time. But it seems very generic, like very a story we've heard 1,000 times before, so I don't know if I will ever read it. But, you know, that's the point of this list, so we'll give it a year and see how we stand. And then, last but not least, we have The State of Sorrow by Melinda Salisbury. I started reading this probably a couple of years ago now. When did this come out? Yeah, it was 2018, so I probably started reading it shortly after acquiring it, and then stopped for whatever reason, I don't know. I didn't hate it, I just stopped for some unknown reason. It wasn't like a DNF situation, it was something else came up. Maybe a readathon started and I couldn't read it for that and then put it down and just never picked it up again. I don't know. But it's about a kingdom who is in mourning for the prince, and like mourning has just taken over completely, hence Sorrow, and I think the main character's name actually is Sorrow. Why did they name her Sorrow? Did her mum die in childbirth or something? I don't know. But the thing that they're mourning most is the brother. Her brother died before she was born. Maybe that was why she was called Sorrow. I can't remember. But the ghost of her brother is like haunting everything. The king is driven by grief to extreme lengths, and the kingdom is falling apart because of that grief. She is called Sorrow, for that is all she brings us. Seems pretty sad. Can't remember why I stopped reading it, but I didn't hate it and haven't picked it up since, and it's been a while, so we'll see if I ever do actually pick it up again. There we go. There are 12 books that will self-destruct in 12 months if I don't read them. If you have read any of these or have any sort of opinion on whether I would like them or not, I would really value your opinion on that down below. You know, if you watch my videos, you probably know the sort of thing that I like, so let me know down below if any of these I absolutely should prioritise reading within the next 12 months, because if I don't, they're gonna go. We will revisit this in a year's time and see if I have read them. So that's all I have for you today. As I say, if you have any opinions on these books, let me know down below and I will be sure to take your opinion into consideration when I decide if I read them or not. But otherwise, that's it for today and I will see you next time. Bye!